Hi, I'm Aidan Buffum. I'm a CS/IMGD double major.
Hi, my name is Gavin Taylor, and I'm one of the artists that worked on Batastrophe.
I'm Matthew Figueroa, and I'm a technical artist on the Batastrophe team.
My name is Marc McFatter, and I am a computer science major.
My name is Isaac Donkoh-Halm. I am an IMGD major under the visual art track, and I served as the producer and animator and designer for the MQP project.
One of the most important mechanics of the game is the flight of the bat and that player's controls. The primary movement scheme for the bat player is a sort of bouncing flight, almost like Flappy Bird, the mobile game. When the player then banks right and left, they can change direction, but they will otherwise always move forward. In flight, the bat player can adjust their viewing angle of the bat. It will always be looking in the forward direction that they're flying. They can adjust the angle either up or down to view more or less of the world. The bat will gradually descend without any input from the player, but the player can either tap the triggers or hold them to shortly or continuously gain altitude. During a dash, the bat will move faster and not lose any altitude. However, it will be harder to turn, and they will be less capable of going exactly where they want due to the fixed altitude. If close enough, the bat can perch on the ceiling outside of the reach of most hunters. The bat is awarded points for smashing things. It flies around the house and breaks them. These props will be thrown about on impact with the bat and scatter all over the room. Some props, like vases or urns or mugs, etc., will also shatter on impact with the bat, sending debris everywhere. Hunters trying to walk across this debris will be slowed down as they try to step around the broken shards. Hunters can also smash through the environment, sending things flying or breaking a vase, but points for the destruction of those props will be awarded to the bat to discourage the hunters from helping the bat destroy their home. As a method of combating the bat, hunters can strike the bat with their weapons, earning points for each successful impact. The bat has a hit radius encompassing all of it, but the tips of the wings where the hunters can strike the bat with their weapons. Hunter weapons have two hit radii. The smaller of the two triggers interactions with props and other hunters. A hunter striking a prop will destroy it in the same way a bat would. Striking another player will knock that player aside. The larger of the hit radii will knock the bat into a dazed state. If struck by the racketeer, the bat will be launched across the room, bouncing off the surfaces until it slows to a roll. If struck by the sweeper, it will be dropped in place, and the stun duration will be longer. If struck by the trapper, it will be immediately scooped into their net, ready to be carried away. If the bat is struck, any hunter can pick up the bat and carry it with them for a short period of time. If near an open door, the player can hurl the bat out of the house in order to lock it out and close the window. If all the windows and doors are closed, the round will either indicate that the bat is still in the house and therefore needs to be gotten out, or the round will end early with a hunter victory. Rounds end when the timer runs out, or when the hunters have successfully removed their home. At the end of the 4 rounds, a winner is determined across each player who has played the bat and each player who has played the hunter, and the best scores that they've achieved.
Getting into our pipeline, we had a very parallel pipeline rather than sequential. What I mean by a sequential pipeline is that sequential pipelines would involve creating a character from gray box, model, clothing, textures, everything, and then rigging and animation would be at the end of the character's life, and that would be handed off to the tech team. What we ended up doing was creating gray boxes of our models, going them in Maya with quick rigging and kind of animating quickly to create some quick walk cycles, vertical hits, horizontal hits, and that would give the tech team enough to play test and kind of work with their camera, understand where we wanted to go with the character, and that was things we could discuss early while we were also working on the characters and getting the overall look of the game. I was able to keep one consistent rig upon all 3 characters and just transfer the animations over, and it passed off to the tech team in time. And test animations with that were added onto the object, and kind of we could see where the bat was moving and how we wanted things to fly around in our house setting, and how tall we were able to make our new house, making it larger as we realized the bat needed to go higher, or making doors wider so the bat would find it easier to turn and players could round corners and not be stuck in narrow doorways and the bat would struggle to navigate.
We were targeting a certain type of gaming motivation. And those motivations were for people who like to play cooperatively and people who like to destroy. The main motivator of the bat is to destroy. They feel creative by finding new ways of destroying the objects and tricking the other players, while the other team plays it in a more strategic sense. They're working together to help corner the bat and find it and knock it out in order for them to take the win. We wanted to make sure that people had different types of motivators in order to get a diverse audience to play this game when it comes to the style of how they want to play video games.
Starting off with our design choices, we wanted something that players could really run around in and have some fun with the game, which is the premise of it, because it's not a very serious game at all. We went with a combination of modern and shabby chic because you get the open spaces, you get the large rooms, but you also get like some of the detail that comes with shabby chic. So that's where that came from. Initially, our first home concept was very small and cluttered, and it didn't really get the point across of what we were trying to do because players would easily catch the bat and kind of end the game very quickly. So we wanted to kind of drag that out a little bit, and so players could actually have a chance to have some fun with the game that we were trying to get across. Initially, it was supposed to be anatomically correct, but it looked very odd and didn't get the point across. So that's why we got rid of the neck, shortened the body, and got the wings smoother. Our bat is very small and cute looking with a large head with huge eyes, and they look adorable. Same thing with our hunters. They were gray boxed in a way that was like aggressive, but not so aggressive that it was just terrifying. So we smoothed them out, and we didn't give them mouths. We gave them mismatched eyes that they're not the same size. So we wanted to get that really goofy, fun, playful vibe across. So that's why a lot of our inspiration came from Kids Next Door. They use these weapons and stuff that they come up with that are just made of household objects. So that's why our hunters have pots and helmets for headgear. They have oven mitts for gloves. Like a lot of these things are supposed to get the idea across that this bat came into your house, and what you need to do to get it out is grab anything you need within arm's reach to get the job done. But we went with smooth rounded off shapes and icons and a lot of bright colors and shapes moving around. A lot of these were made in Illustrator and After Effects because that's just what made it easiest. In terms of our point system, initially that was also made in Unity with the particle effect, but it didn't really give us the impact that we were looking for. So that's why we switched over to After Effects and got something that was a lot cleaner, a lot more polished. There is a particle effect within Unity that gets the bats flying around in the main menu, so that's where that came from. That was a lot of fun to mess around with.
This is our main menu, as I mentioned. We have nice little particle effects of bats flying around. Those were implemented by Gavin. So you have the settings screen, which allows you to choose, alter some settings, invert the y-axis, control look, sensitivity, volumes, etc. We have the controls menu, which shows you how you play as each character, the bats and the humans respectively. All of this, by the way, is fully controlling navigable, so you don't even have to get up to play the game. Once you play, it then selects one random person, so it looks like in this case, player 3 was the bat, the bottom left corner. Everybody else gets their chance to choose which class they want to play again, fully controlling navigable. Each controller is assigned to a different bubble. You got the Trapper, the Racketeer, and the Sweeper. These are also buttons that you can click on if you choose. We have a consistent visual design that we went through with the whole game of attaching a color to each player number and then kind of keeping that throughout it. So everything, player 1 is going to be consistently red, player 2 is blue, player 3 is green, and player 4 is yellow. So if I hit this bat, stunned appears, and I get 40 points in my little points thing. The bat gets 15 points for having run into stuff. Press B to use appears whenever I can open and close a window. I'm running over glass right now, so that slows me down. The timer flashes white and red to let us know that the round is almost over. And then once we hit 0, a big round over notification appears, and you can no longer score any points regardless of what you do.
Once the game was in a stable state, we began to playtest. We were particularly looking for comments regarding ease of control, favorite features, and preferred playstyle. The data we gathered helped us fix issues such as camera and player control, mobility, balancing issues, and providing options to make the game much more accessible to a wider audience.